Looks like we have a slightly unstable connection to Twitch at the moment. Slightly odd. But hopefully it gets better as time goes by. We can only really hope. The bitrate though is rather bad. Oh, we'll keep trying. What a city it was, Elsie. You can't even imagine. It was built by the finest engineers from the Five Kings Mountain. Queen Gallifrey spared no expense. Dresden was meant to be a capital of the Crusade movement, a monument to its glory and a beacon of all hope to Galarian. Heroes were drawn there to seek fame and glory, and they came from all over. Taldor, Garund, Tiazia. I couldn't list them all. A relic known as the Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that had been carried into battle by Eomede herself, back when she was still human. That banner protected the city and kept the demons from teleporting inside its walls. As long as the banner was in its place, Dresden was invincible. Or so we thought. Then the world wound suddenly expanded. The demons launched a new onslaught, and people started saying it was time to declare the Second Crusade. Dresden was unassailable, until one young officer, mind you, was tempted by a beautiful woman. She convinced him that the banner shouldn't be hanging in the city, that its rightful place was on the battlefield. She whispered honeyed words about glory and valor, convinced him that he could be a hero as great as Eomede herself. And that poor fool believed her. He rounded up some of his hot-headed friends and carried the banner outside of the city gates on an unauthorized foray. The demons slaughtered them within seconds. But for some reason the courageous ringleader was spared. A whole army teleported into Dresden, and it was a bloodbath. As you can guess, that officer was called Sultan Vane, and the woman turned out to be a demon. Not just any demon. It was Minago, that foul wretch. She's given us a lot of grief here in Canabris, too. Just don't ask me what I was doing while my brother was off having trysts with that beast, though I didn't save him from his own stupidity. Blacksmith's gestures as if to ward off the inevitable reprobation. Who could have guessed it would end like this? I failed my brother, that's the truth. I blame myself every day, looking at his plight. So that's the story. Show radiance to him. Do you recognize this sword? Do I recognize it? Of course I do. I made this with my own hands. There's my brand, see? The dwarf carefully takes the sword in his hands, gazing at it like a doting father. Oh, Yaniel, things have been tough without you, but at least we've still got your sword. That's something. He returns the sword to you. In battle, ordinary swords get blunted. They break. But sometimes a weapon can preserve. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm no authority in such things. But something like an echo of deeds done with a weapon. It's more like the reflection of a wielder's soul. I don't know. I will say one thing. Take care of that sword. Yaniel may no longer be with us, but the demons will still remember why they need to turn tail and run when they see radiance. Ugh, the scabbard's all worn. You can't have a fine sword like this being carried around in this tatty thing. I'll make you a new one, if you like. The city stands strong. If the city stands strong, and we both survive, come see me again. I'll have it ready. No charge. Speaking of charges, show me your wares. A bit of a bad segue, but we'll see how things go. Attrition dagger. Oh, that's right. This deals a damage to charisma if it manages to hit. Doesn't have a save though, but cannot lower it beneath 5. Still, considering the attack rate of daggers, or of those that use daggers, that's even wrong. How to explain? It's not the worst ability on a dagger, but you'd really need 2 of them to start going to town with it. That makes sense. As for weapons, I don't think we really need any. If there was a masterwork compound longbow, that would be a good one to grab. Masterwork composite longbow. Look at the devil, and there you shall find it. Can't get cold iron longbows though, and that's something you have to use through ammunition, which I've already been doing. That's a 2-bladed sword. really need much in the way of weapons. Already have a Masterwork Greatsword. It does Masterwork Old Iron Greatsword. No, there isn't. This Masterwork version's all of them. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Also, I don't think we can get plate mail yet. No. The best we can get is a half plate up here. Or wherever it was. Heavy shield, light shield, buckler. I really don't need any of those. A rugged helmet. Gives us damage reduction, but I'd rather keep the perception up. Extra quiver of cold iron ammunition. We'll take one of those at least. So as you can see, we don't actually need much from that motion at the moment. Give Lan that. Also, extra quiver. Pretty much all for him. Gonna go back to the tavern for a second. Grab that one item. Show me the scrolls you're selling. But it's honestly a ring that we want from you. Take all these. Take most of these. There we go. And we'll equip that to you. And it should give you even more AC. Indeed. You're now pretty much on par with Celia as a tank, which is surprising considering your armor. Dodge feet and all pretty much right up there. Now, he does, if I remember correctly, have weapon focus for daggers. Oh no, not weapon focus. Finesse training, which is useful. That said, considering the extra damage of the claw, 6 to 9, 3 to 13. It lowers the minimum damage, but increases at the maximum just enough to be worth it, I think. Actually, there are a few things that we still need. Specific from you. I'm not sure if I can afford it, but a scroll of cure disease would be helpful. Now, how to afford you? That's the question. Probably by selling some of the scrolls we don't need. Less cause fear. Divine fever? No, that's doom. It is doom. Excuse me. Remove fear. Very nice spell. Clerics get it at level 1. So not much point holding onto a scroll of it. Unbreakable heart, also quite useless. And after that, probably the potions we don't need. It'll probably be the protection from evil ones, to be honest. Sell the dagger, which is an extra 100 off, which should be enough. While you're here, you don't actually need someone, a cleric I should say, to use a scroll like that. Haze of Dreams. Nope, remove disease, that's what I want. Because he's there to help you, you should be able to just use this on yourself. Somehow. There we go. Yeah, Camilla will use it for you. And the Demon Plague is now gone. Yeah, diseases are really annoying. That's why I like having Sahila get to level 3. Just to deal with not having to deal with them anymore. And out we go. Take a look for this as we step out. welcome to the wider world. You can now explore all this area. And that said, I'm going to say it again because it wasn't recorded last time. But we are under a time limit. If we take too long, the Defender's Heart will be under attack, and when that happens, the map changes. We can't... events in Market Square will get changed. Certain ones down here will also get altered. So you're really incentivized to do this as fast as possible. Making sure you're in these the right spells. Making sure you take the minimum amount of time to rest. Making sure you're just efficient as possible. That said, don't feel like you can't do a quest, because you can pretty much do the entire area without triggering the attack on Defender's Heart. I've done it before, mostly because I have practiced, you could say, this first chapter. And it is entirely possible. The basement is dark and dank, and you're immediately struck by the hostility of the Gala Tieflings. 5 of them are kneeling against along the wall, separate from the rest. A tall woman who had been cleaning her fingernails with the tip of her knife greets you with narrowed eyes. Brother Woodruff, you got my message then? Sorry I couldn't swing by sooner, dear sister. Here is me. It was just one thing after another. First I was in shackles, next... one day, I was still in shackles. And I was being watched, and then the chief got me out, and I came here straight away. I knew you'd be waiting on me. Enough talking, or else I'll be here all night. So, we had a clear plan. We were going to wait for nightfall, slip into the shop, grab the goods, and then leave. Even if the neighbors called the guard, there was time to get away. But what happened? That bitch Erebeth showed up almost right away. She knew we'd be there. Someone betrayed us, and I have a good idea who it is. What do you have to say to that? Make it quick. And then we chime in with, the burden of proof lies in the accuser. Woodruff doesn't have to prove anything. Charisma turns to you. She speaks! And I thought Woodruff only brought you so he'd have someone to hide behind if things went south. A single fluid motion, Charisma adjusts her grip on her knife so that she is now holding it by the blade, as if preparing to throw it. Burden? Of proof? Are you a city guard or something? I don't know how it is with your lot, but in the family, the highest rank is always right. And here, that's me. Do you think Woodruff knows the name of the traitor? Yes, he knows the name of the traitor. Every gang that Brother Woodruff has been a part of has quickly come to an end. The hideout location has been passed to their guards, all the competitors found out where they could ambush them. Woodruff is the only one who always comes out smelling of roses. If you think about it, you'll come to the same conclusion as us. I'd have said that meant Woodruff was cursed with finding friends among losers and screws-ups, but nowadays with us, that would just mean the curse has been broken. That depends. He was indeed most fortunate to find himself in a party with me, Camilla says. On the other hand, he also ended up in a party with you. Just taunting, Lan. Canabras is burning. Why are you here squabbling? Instead of fleeing the city? She purses her lips. I'd be glad to leave, like the rest of my brothers and sisters. But in the family, there's nothing worse than betrayal. And it's something we do not forgive. We do not forgive anyone who lets traitors off the hook either. If I don't find the rat, my superiors... let's just say I'll wish I was burning in Canabras. I want to keep on living, so I'm going to take a chance. Till I find out who the traitor is here, no one is leaving. Woodruff, tell us your side of the story. What happened? What's there to tell? About a week ago, Sister Charisma got 6 of us together in this very basement. Me and those 5 over there, I mean. Tricks his head towards the 5 that are nearly against the wall. She rounds us up and says we've got a score. Ancient trees and wonders. The one place no one's ever been able to hit. The place has been guarded by a golem. But now, a powerful scroll that will knock out the golem just so happened to come into my possession. Along with the tip-off, the shop's owner would be gone on a particular night. All 6 of us know a bit of magic, and we know that any enchanted junk will sell for a pretty penny. So we're in. And the most important thing was that none of us was to be hanging around the shop ahead of the job. No casing out the place, No calling attention to ourselves from either the golem or its master. This job was top secret. That's all true so far, goes my sayings. Go on. We did everything right. With the locks and the golem, I picked the lock, I remember clear as day. Sister Velma was on the lookout, Brother Millerum had the scroll. Sophie, Tavi, and Varnir brought the sacks. We covered the windows and lit the torches. I remember scooping up rings and tossing them into the sack, and one right expensive one rolled away from me. I crawled under a table after it, and next thing I know, Erebeth was there. Everyone scampered, but I was still on the table. Not my finest moment. I was going to wait it out, but then those blockheads were dragging me out by my tail and putting me in shackles. They took all my rings off me, about 20,000's worth, and to add insult to injury, I never even found the last one. In the end, I got busted over nothing. So, they caught you, poor thing, stripped you of your loot, and you didn't even manage to stash anything. Charisma is pointedly polishing her knife. Where's the moon in the abyss, Brother Wooljeff? What is the moon of the abyss? It was an amulet. It used to sit on a little cushion in the window of ancient Horizon with us. Sterling silver, sparkled like a star. Fine piece of work. On one side there was a half moon, you know. A crescent, a waning moon, and in the middle there was a dark crystal, like it was the eclipsing moon. Old man Fellowman was so proud of the amulet. He used to say, "I'll never sell it. It's the jewel of my collection." His eyes. I used to go there to see what kinds of treasures there were in the world. What kinds of treasures there were in the world. There's nothing else to look at in Canabras. People used to claim it was a powerful thing, but who's to say? If you ever stole a thing like that, you'd have the guards on you the second you tried to fence it. Everyone knew you were always hanging around ancient areas and wonders, drooling over the moon of the abyss. Did you think you could swipe it in all the commotion and keep it for yourself? Did you hope that we'd all be locked up and you could scoot off scot-free? And with a fancy trinket to boot. Don't take me for a mug, Wooljeff. I see right through you. Why would Erebeth arrest her own informant? Took the words right out of my mouth, Wooljeff says. Doesn't make any sense. If I was a rat, I'd have kissed her on the hand and been long gone by now. You know me, sister. I'm a cautious fella, not an idiot. Why would I go against the family? So the fish in the cellar can have a nice Wooljeff-sized dinner. The moon of the abyss is a pretty ball, but to be sure, it's just an amulet. It ain't worth dying over. You knew Erebeth's people would protect you. You knew you could pin the moon going missing on them. And now you come here with backup. You know exactly what I was going to say to you. Only problem is, nobody's returned the amulet to film him. Are you giving Erebeth a cut? Is that it? Have you seen her? Wooljeff says. Do you think she'd take a cut of anything I offered her? She can't be bought. She's like the three heroes of Iomida rolled all into one. He speaks the truth, Taylor pipes up. You'll find some knights who'll take bribes. I'm sorry to say, but Erebeth Tirablade is not one of them. Go on, Wooljeff. That's the whole story. Wooljeff crosses his arms, looking affronted. Some family this turned out to be. Just a name in the end. In a real family, people take each other at their word. We don't throw around accusations. I didn't take the moon of the abyss. What am I going to do with it? You can't sell it to no crusaders. It's a special item. You can't wear it. It'll get nicked. It's pretty to look at, sure, but it ain't pretty. But it ain't that pretty, I should say. If it's that important to you, Sister Camarose, I'll find it. I'll drag the traitor here by his horns, just so you don't end up at the bottom of the Celine. But do you know what you're going to owe me for that? An apology. Right here in front of everyone, you're going to apologize loud and clear so everyone hears it. You'll say, "Sorry, Wooljeff, you're a good guy, I was wrong about you." Fine, Charisma says. You're one of my people, which is why I'm going to give you some time. But if you run, Brother Wooljeff, the family will get you wherever you go. You'll spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, tossing and turning at night, fearing poison every cup and every meal. You'll look into the eyes of every tiefling you meet, wondering if the family's coming for you. You'll have no peace. But one day, you'll be tired of running. You'll stop to catch your breath, and that is when we'll get you. Got that? You've a way with words, Sister Charisma. A way that almost makes me wet myself, but a way nonetheless. Let's go, Chief. We'll go chat to that scary gal, Erebeth, and who knows? She knows you a little. You can ask her who ratted us out. I'll let you do the talking, though. we'll find the real traitor. And I'll get my apology. Onwards to Erebeth, Chief. Let's go clear my good name. Root out the traitor and be quick with it, Resume says. Time's running out. I don't want to get chewed out by demons. Nope. Screenshot. Accident taken. That's Wooljiff's quest. Go find traitor. Essentially, we just need to go back and forth between here and Defender's Heart. Ooh, fatal sneak by. What are we fighting? Probably nothing too large.
Can we retreat already?
Two cultists, by looks of it. Honestly, two cultists should not. One's already dead. That's for Wooljiff. We do need to change up his things. Charge. Fighting defensively. These are just tiefling resistances. So I believe once a day, a tiefling can set their resistance to be pretty much 10 against a certain element. It's a good ability. Everyone up. Grab. That's it. But it's another one. Ah. Let's see that one. Also, how did the little 30 damage critical hit? Oh. So much for not having any troubles. This one's actually fairly tanky.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel. If you see that!
I heed the voice of the spirits.
Yeah, am I guilty of doing the same thing? No, I actually did memorize spells before I left. Just gonna use these to heal them up. Top up with a potion or two. Probably two. Then head out. And three. Grab the gold. That's what comes along though. Make you spend money and then give it to us immediately, why don't you? And continue on. We do in fact want to enter that location. That last 3%, I wasn't sure what was taking so long. Go in. Tavern. Yes, thank you, please. Or rather, yes, please, thank you. Got Erebeth over here. Do a little bit of a talk. Erebeth rubs her red and tired eyes. An success house the city. As the traitor I'm trying to track down, who's your informant among the thieflings? Erebeth arcs her eyebrows in surprise. Canabras is threatened by a demon horde and you have enough spare time to help out thieves? She sighs. I don't like this, but I hope you know what you're doing. I'll tell you everything I know. I did not see my informant's face. He slipped out of a dark alley, handed me the note and disappeared. She hesitates, as if trying to remember. He had a cloak and a hood, masking his face, but the horns, the long horns, didn't fit underneath it. There should, I should say, have been a guardian golem in Ancientries and Wonders, the shop they tried to rob. They only gave us the construct's code word just in case. The golem itself was destroyed, but the head seems to be intact, so you can, in fact, interrogate the thing and find out what it saw. The code word is Hand of Iori. The shop's owner must have escaped, but there's a chance you get lucky with a golem. Oh, thank you. That's actually very informative. Let's continue onwards and outwards. this dark line there is the rift that was carved out by a certain demon lord when he slammed his scythe into the ground. And we have a shop to search.
Hello? Is anyone there?
And there's a voice.
Please get me out of here! Free at last. I thought I'd be flattened like a pancake under that rubble. Much obliged. Damn, I'm not in any pain, but my head is still foggy for some reason. What's with all the hubbub in the city? The name's Finian. I'm a Pathfinder. If there's anything I can do to help, I will.
You're Pathfinder?
That's right, Finian Dismar, Pathfinder and Crusader. I roam around the world wound wherever my tasks lead me. Scouting mostly, but this last while I've just been hanging around in Canabras, waiting until I'm needed again. I'm bored out of my mind, but at least this shop makes for better lodging than some inn.
What are you?
What's that supposed to mean? I just told you. You want to know where I hail from, is that it? Well, I'm from around here, actually. We Kelots of the Star Eye clan fled when the World Wound troubles began. But I couldn't stand by while the demons wreaked havoc, so I came back. Or did you mean to ask about my weapon of choice? My best weapon is every weapon. I'm a skilled and capable fellow, if I do say so myself. I can swing a sword and poke with a spear, but what I am best at is communing with the spirits. They call folks like me Phantom Blades.
A Phantom Blade? What's that?
It's like a spiritualist, but with a twist. It means that some spirit took a liking to me at some point, and it can turn into whatever weapon I need. Handy, eh? I don't need any whetstones or enchantments. Doesn't take up space either. Although, to be fair, it's not a barrel of laughs. The spirits that bestow this kind of power don't come from happy places, and they're not exactly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They usually appear after great battles that leave few survivors.
The city is under attack by demons.
Wait, what? The last thing I saw was some thieves breaking in here. And then the guards came, everyone was running around. After that, it's a bit of a blur. Right when things got intense, they dropped the cabinet on me. I couldn't even help the owner. I was just lying under the shelves like a dimwit until you came along. If there are demons in Canabras, we must do something about it. The city needs every blade it can get. Hey, do you mind taking me with you? I don't think I can handle this alone. And besides, the more the merrier.
How did you end up in this shop?
I've been waiting here so long I don't even remember anymore. Just sitting and waiting for any word from the Pathfinders, but it looks like everyone has forgotten about me. The shop owner is an old friend of the Pathfinders, so I've taken up residence here.
Alright. I'll take you with me.
I swear you won't regret it. I can do all sorts of things. Is there anything your party is missing? A sword, a spear, a bow? Just say the word.
We've acquired a talking weapon. If you're curious about how to access him, you go to the inventory screen like this. It's now tabbed down here, Finian. Click on that, choose your weapon. I would strongly suggest making it a composite longbow. It's ironic that I've had upgrades for the same weapon in all 3 screens I've gone through so far, but the reason I'm recommending it now is because his first form comes with both the Ghost Touch and the Cold Iron enhancement already. So doing that allows you to give it to Lamb and no longer have to worry about the ammunition, and also allows them to hit ghosts, which is very useful. There is a slight downside. And then that's weird. Why did your attack go down? Masterwork, composite longbow. Finian counts as a +1 weapon. So, is that a bug? Is it not applying the masterwork? Oh, is it applying the masterwork for him? Sorry, the enhancement. Is it not applying here? It is not. Okay, that shouldn't be happening. That is 100% a bug. But essentially, it still works as mostly intended. I was going to say, it should be as good as a Masterwork composite longbow, but apparently it isn't. Which is a little bit weird, to be honest. Still, It's a good weapon for him. And should keep him able to do damage to demons without too much problem. Not too much trouble. And yes, if you find a magic store and you have the chance to loot it in an RP game, 100% go through every single shelf. Leave nothing untouched. Okay, what we just got was, I believe, that's a counterfeit. But we do get this. A pipe fox. It's another pet. When used, it will provide us a 3+ insight bonus on knowledge arcana and a +2 bonus on perception skills. Essentially, it's just going to help us out. Bumping up our perception, sorry, even further. As well as our knowledge arcana. Feels good to have higher skill points. The formerly well-appointed shop now looks in a sorry state. It has been completely ransacked. Lying in the corner, next to a scorched wall, are the soot-covered hands of a clay golem's head. Soot-covered shards of a clay golem's head. The golem's eyes glow in the gloom. Master. Code word. Hand of Iori. Code word. Correct. The golem's eyes glow brighter. Awaiting orders. Tell me about any suspicious people who came to the shop last week. The golem was silent for a moment. 56 individuals entered the shop. Human, female, old, gnome, male, old, human, female. Could be really odd customers till nightfall. We need to ask it in a different way. Or different pipes up. Were any of the suspicious people tieflings? Golem was silent for a while. Tieflings, 3. Tiefling male, middle-aged. Tiefling male, young. Tiefling male, female. Describe the young male tiefling. Tiefling male, medium height, short horns rolling backwards, medium length tail, eyes yellow, hair color black, special observations, annoyed master. Horns, hair, tail. That sounds like me, but it's not possible. I know what security is like here, and I didn't come near the place. I give you my word, Chief. No special observations. Subject was unremarkable. There, see, it can't have been me. Describe the middle-aged tiefling. Tiefling, male, medium height, long horns, medium length tail, eye color, pale blue, skin color, dark, special observations, red hair. Oh, that'd be our trader. I bet your life on it. Charisma drilled into our heads that we weren't to go hanging around the shop. Red hair. We've got a couple of gingers. And plenty more who get it out of the bottle. So much for a special observation. Golems aren't all they're cracked up to be, eh? Maybe our master knows much more. Maybe its master knows much more. I don't know why I keep on saying much more. It just knows more. Describe the female tiefling. Tiefling female, above average height. Hair, long pale. Tail, not observed. Long horns, eye colour, blue. Special observations, scar on nose. Baldric with gold stitching. I don't know that one. New rival, most likely. Gold stitching, eh? Wouldn't mind getting to know her a little better. Enough. The golem is silent, waiting for an order. Where is your master? Fileman Fullereus. How did you say that? Fileman, correct. Fulliatros. My master is in his hiding place. Revealing the location of the hiding place is prohibited. 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 I like to hold himself up in the basement. When the commotion started, the entrance should be around here somewhere. Where is the basement in this place? Basement is below me. I guard basement. Leaving post is prohibited. I found everything I wanted to know. And now we can move the golem.
Well, this didn't go well.
Of course we fell.
Forget
Really?
it.
Twice?
Forget it.
That's 45 minutes gone.
The mongrel did it.
That's actually the first time I've actually failed that check. Go through. Grab the booze on the shelf, of course. Buddha's little chest.
I hope you appreciate this.
Down here. and talk to the gnome. The elderly gnome, so portly as to be nearly spherical, is curled up in the corner of the basement, shaking. Marauders! Bandits! Scavengers! Yeah, makes sense. We're all of those things and much, much more. Before you report us to the authorities, mind if we have a chat? Are you the shop owner? The gnome seems to be settled slightly. My name's Philemon Fullatris. I am the owner of the shop, and I am not sure I can claim to be the owner of anything anymore. I hope that's at least something left of it. Oh, come off it. Your shop's fine. It's a bit ransacked, maybe. But nothing a bit of spit and polish can't fix. Where were you the night of the robbery? Do you think I robbed my own shop? I was here in the basement. I was told to make it look like I'd left. Watch was very keen to get their hands on those tieflings. They seem to be multiplying all over Galarian. So, of course, I did everything they said. I've been stuck in this basement ever since. The golem wouldn't move away from the door, no matter how much I yelled at it. But then I thought it was all too good. But then I thought that it was all to the good. It's slightly weird. Somebody came by after the guards and caused a ruckus upstairs, bellowing like mad, taking advantage of my absence. Tell me about the tieflings that have visited Ancient Trees and Wonders recently. Well, I should tell you anything about my customers, not from the City Guard or the Eagle Watch. Chief, if he keeps digging his heels in, just say the word. I know how to listen this time. But we can bluff this, hopefully. I'm helping the Eagle Watch to catch the culprits. It's in your interest to tell me everything. Of course we fail. The golem casts a suspicious eye over you. Is that so? How do I know you're telling the truth? And since when has the Eagle Watch in the habit of sending strangers to do the work for them? Well, can we start reaching for the weapon? Start talking, or else? Of course that works. Alright, just put that away. I'll tell you everything, just ask your questions if it's so important. Tell me about Wujif. His face wrinkles in distaste. Wujif Jeffdo, right? Yes, I've known him for a long time, but I'd rather not know him at all. He's been skulking about my shop for years, treating the place like a free museum. I always wanted to look at the moon of the abyss. I chased him out, but he'd just slink back in again. If he was with the gang that robbed my shop, I bet anything he swiped the moon. How come I'm the prime suspect? Whoever betrayed us all, that's the one who's got the moon. I want to see it return too, you get me? I don't like the idea of other people's rubbing mitts on it. Tell me about the red-headed tiefling. Paladin falls to thinking. Red-headed tiefling? I suppose yes, there was one that came in. Spent a long time looking around. He was a person of modest means. I can tell by his clothes, but he asked me to show him an Asma-made chainmail. He certainly couldn't afford it. That's when I suspect that something was off. I checked everything after he left, but nothing was missing, and that put my mind at ease. I can't remember what he looked like. I didn't get a good look at his face. All I remember was that he was wrapped in a green cloak, like he was freezing. And that's all I have. That's it. With that description, we can surely sniff him out. Come on, Chief. Back to Sister Kisme we go. To have a good, long, shifty, all my brothers, and see if we can put the clues together. Something tells me our trader isn't going to wriggle out of this one. Tell me about the tiefling woman. Philemon scratches his chin. A tiefling woman? Ah, yes, I remember now. A noble lady, unlike the tiefling ruffians we have around here. She purchased magical equipment for the crusade, and she promised to come again. If only old tieflings were like that, I'd be laughing all the way to the bank. Well, I found out everything I want to know. If that isn't enough to help you catch the thieves, then I don't know what else to tell you. Now be on your way, and leave me in peace with the wreck of my shop. And we shall. We've already looted the remains of his shop, so no much point staying around now, is there? Oh, just remind me. You should probably go there. It's a bit of a tight formation, but we'll make it work. And with that, I just need you over here. Enter. Now, green cloak, horns, male. Only two of the green cloak. But this one's only one with red hair. So, Maroon it is. Esme drums her fingers nervously on the handle of her blade. Well, you're going to tell me who the traitor is? The name and the moon of the abyss that they stole? I don't need anything else. Take a good look at the suspects. The tieflings are tense and ready to reach for their weapons. The only redheads are Malaroon and Dofi. The dark-skinned tieflings are Vanir, Dofi, and Malaroon. Dofi and Malaroon and Tavi with straight horns, but Tavi is female. Only Vanir and Malaroon with green cloaks. I'm ready to give a name. Well, go on, tell her. The traitor is... Malaroon. You'll pay for this. Fairytale and Hasmere will get you in the end. There's a mirror. Ooh, stabbed in the back. And kicked dirt on him just for good measure. Grab him. Take him away for questioning. Kirisme looks wary, but her early attention has clearly lifted. He confessed. Someone connected to the cult of Baphomet ordered him to steal the moon of the abyss, and the best idea he could come up with was to drag us into it. He got the scroll to take out the golem. He betrayed us dear breath so that he could swipe the amulet in the chaos. He thought we'd get nicked, and he'd slink off to meet with his customer. You've got the moon of the abyss? Let me look at it one last time. My whole life I've dreamt of holding it in my hands, if only for a second. He said that when he got to the window display, the moon was gone. He's lying, of course. He had time to hand the moon off to the person who ordered it. Bloody cultists. I don't really give a toss. I'm just glad we got to the bottom of it. What are you going to do now? They're out of this place. The sooner, the better. This city's dying, and I don't want to die with it. The city would have already died if not for the people who stood up and defended it with their weapons in their hands. So, defend it. I'm not stopping you. It's your city. We've always been outsiders here. Why should we fight for you now? We don't want to join the family, so what are you going to do to the traitor? Kirisme nonchalantly picks at her nails with a knife tip. He'll be sent to visit his distant relatives on their farm. To think about what he did. Any more questions? I have to go. Good decision. I don't plan to hang around long either. Kirisme turns to leave. I get the feeling that particular tiefling is not going to be going to the farm, as it were. Sister! Waldriff nervously bites his lip. His cheeks are flushed and his tail swishing through the air. You forgot something? What now? You should be happy to be alive. An apology? You promised to apologize to me loudly in front of everyone. We're alone now, but I still want to hear it. Well? Ah. That. Kirisme shrugs indifferently. So... sorry, I suppose. For being wrong about you this time. I don't think that just because you didn't act like a jerk this one time that it cancels out the rest of your record. I know all about you. Till next time, Waldriff. And we chime in and just like, that was the most pathetic apology I've ever heard. Succeed at the roll. Kirisme's eyes harden, but then she sighs. Alright. Fine. I'm sorry, Waldriff. Let's part on good terms. And now apologize to me as well. When you falsely accuse my ally, you accuse me too. A flurry of emotions pass across Kirisme's face. When she finally opens her mouth, her words trickle out slowly, like each one is a struggle. And I'm sorry to you too. And to make it up to you... here. She pulls a key from her pocket and tosses it to you. And now, I'm leaving. I do like that one. That was a pretty good interaction. Waldriff watches her go, his tail relaxing. You made some impression on her. I never see Sister Kirisme back down before. Listen, Chief, when you've got a spare minute, come see me. I've got something I want to discuss with you. But for now, let's get out of here. I don't like sitting below ground when the building above it is ready to crash down on our heads. That's a good point. First things first, we have another place to loot. Grab all the alcohol. It's going to be some use to us, hopefully. Lockpicker's kit. +1 bonus in all trickery skill checks. And another first aid kit. Now, I believe that between the two of you, Camilla actually has more trickery. So, our resident fencer should get these. So as a usable item, if you want to get the bonus, you pretty much have to put it into this slot. And it should representative there. These. Oh, like that. Okay, like this. Locked.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
Oops, secret door as well. So there's the trap.
I am helpful, am I not?
Door. And now we have a whole room to loot. Ooh, comes with a free ring. Ring of Sharp Strike. Wherever this ring shoots an enemy in range, engaged in melee combat and hits, the enemy suffers a -1 penalty on attack rolls for a round. Lion's build just keeps getting better, to be honest. Loot. Curry. Karma. Not really worth it. This, however, is 1,500 gold coins and a Thiefling account book. Where are you? There. Info. Balance. It's just all the math, so to speak. Someone's been getting into the money by the looks of it. Either that or they did the math wrong. Ooh, see. If you have an accounting error like that, then first things first, check your math. Okay. So stop by turn this out on the way back. It's literally on the way. We don't lose any time, so to speak, doing it. I mean, I probably lose a few seconds in the loading screen, of course, but short of that, we're okay. We are 1,000 experience, 1,100 experience towards our next level. Actually, we don't need to go to the basement this time. We just need to go in here. And I believe Woodruff is right here.
Psst, look, Chief, I got something to show you. Ta-da! A real beaut, isn't it?
He makes a subtle gesture, and an amulet and a chain appears in his hand. A silver amulet in the shape of a waning moon with a dark crystal in the middle. The moon of the abyss. Did you really have the amulet this whole time?
Since that night, Chief, Melround didn't even set eyes on it. While he was dealing with the golem, I sneaked past them, and that was that.
You've been searched by the guards. How did you manage to hide it?
Thieves have their ways.
Yeah, of course they do. Why didn't you give the amulet to Kira's mate right away?
What? So she would slay me right away, you mean? You saw how antsy she was over Canabras and all this. So I did it. I took the Moon of the Abyss. But I didn't go to Erebeth. And Big Sister wouldn't hear my explanations. She doesn't have the time. I even thought I'd hide the moon somewhere, and then when all the noise had died down, I'd go get it and make a run for it. I'm sick of the thieflings. And they never appreciated me anyway.
Why did you steal the Moon of the Abyss? Why wouldn't you have been... You wouldn't have been able to sell... You wouldn't have been able to sell an item so rare anyway.
Why, she asks. It's expensive, pretty. And you know, it's my amulet, actually. Not meaning I stole it, but... I mean, this is my inheritance. My grandma and I were poor. All we had was a jewelry box with the moon in it. She used to store it under the floor in the basement, and she'd take it out sometimes just to look at it. She was always nicer when she had a few drinks in her, so I could ask her things then. One time I asked where she got it from, and she said it was from a demon. You know, the demon who was my grandfather. He said the moon was to be passed down. My ma was good for nothing and nobody, so that's why Grandma decided to keep the amulet for me. She used to say it would be mine when I grew up. but she couldn't wait until I grew up. She squandered my inheritance when she became a drunk. Took it to Fileman's shop and pawned it. He gave her some coppers for it, and she didn't even haggle. Just grabbed them and ran back to the tavern before last orders. I've been going to Fileman's to look at the moon ever since I was a kid. He chased me away, but I just kept going back, so eventually he gave up. He didn't skimp on security. The place was like a fortress, so he wasn't worried about a street rat like me pinching anything. Even when I got more skilled, I couldn't get any closer to it. One day, I had no one to go with. Another day, there were only oafs who'd never stolen anything more than a church donation box. But when Charisme had planned everything out, I realized I had a chance to get the moon and move away from here. Maybe to Garand. I hear it's warmer there. I've stayed with the family for too long.
Atone for your crimes by serving the crusade.
If I serve anybody, it should be you. And only because I owe you. I don't care if the whole of Canabras drops into the abyss. I don't trust all these crusaders or Galfrey. They just take people's money to spend on crusades, but what's the point? If anyone calls me a crusader, I'll spit in their face, just so you know. Even if it's you, Chief. Whatever you think, I owe you. I'm not just a thief. I have my own business selling things. Thanks to you, I'm still in the family. And we have the black market sewn up in this city. It's a good way to sell valuables.
Making sure no one was going to take the amulet from him, Woodchip hides it underneath his shirt and folds his arms on his chest.
So, if you need anything, a scroll or something, just say the word. I have a little portal to our people in Nerosian. You put a note there, and you get what you need. I can't get you anything big, but what they do have is all high quality. Nothing's too good for you, Chief. What's mine is yours. For a price, of course.
And with that, we've done the quest. Woodchip is standing repeatedly flipping a coin into the air and catching it. He looks bored, the tip of his tail is twitching nervously. Noticing you, he perks up. Hey Chief, how about letting me go? Why would you need a thief in your party? What if I rob you in your sleep? I mean, I'm not going to, for now. What if I get a rush of inspiration? Ooh, oof. That's a little insensitive. Show me what you can get with your tiefling connections. Ultra's face breaks into a happy grin. Look, Chief, the tieflings have all the best things. And he actually does have some nice things. Not for everyone, mind you. It's a bit hit and miss. There's some apprentice lockpicks if you need them, for whatever reason. Cool look. And if you need a good Estoic, this one's actually pretty good. +1, Cold Iron, that deals an extra 1d3 positive energy damage on hit. He has a lot of exotic things, so to speak. And I believe his store continues to improve later on. But for now, it's not really of much use to us. Other than to perhaps sell what we already have. Just like so. Still, it's experience. And it helps us get a bit closer to our next level. And now we can begin exploring in earnest. That was just a small quest that sort of delayed our time a little bit. Didn't really force us to use a rest though, so overall, no big loss. And we start heading south. Correct. Our next area is... If we go to the market square, we can pretty much get a level just by going through there. I want to do that if we can. It's going to be a very, very tough fight, but it should be possible.
You can handle them, right?
3 enemies. Let's send you over here to...
Did you just die already?
Stab him in the gut. Let's send you over here Stab him in the shoulder. Of course, we have
You
land.
won't survive me.
Then I missed the second one, of course. There we go. These ones aren't particularly dangerous. It's the ones later on we have to keep an eye out for. Especially when demons start to show up, because while individually they're not that tough, most of the time, they do begin to wear any resources. It's one of the advantages of, again, having mostly a melee party at the moment. We don't have to worry about that too much.
My tail is twitching. Must be a sign.
We got a trap.
Well,
Come off here to hopefully deal with it.
I am helpful, am I not?
You are. Okay, let's have that.
Endure another obstacle.
I was kind of hoping that would have hit. Let's see how we're out here from now. And give everyone just a turn. Let them come to us. That's a wizard. And delay my turn. But just to okay. Don't be afraid to delay your turn if you need to. Prove useful at times.
Make every strike count.
Well, this doesn't really matter for Lamb. He doesn't have to move.
Into the fray!
I'll cut you wide open!
Big swing. Big hit.
Cover me, all right?
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
One hit. And two.
The inheritor! Ride my blade!
That's good. Over here for us to grab. There is, actually. Over here. Not so much. That's where we need to go.
Now what is that?
And of course, one of them asking
You can trust me.
Stranger. I have the answer. But what is the question?
I hope you appreciate this.
Okay, just gonna do a quick save before we go in there. A few enemies. Let's have Lana
Meditate
kick us
on
off.
your mistakes. If you find trouble, no, they did.
What have you moved back there? You over here. The Woodchief can come out. Let's see there, can hopefully can't charge? Can charge. Woodchief was in the way. It's okay.
The spirits demand your blood!
Which is that? Oof, that was a big hit actually. Barbarian is dealt with. Not There are extra enemies in that room.
You won't survive me.
Kinesis are quite powerful and very dangerous. There's another photo I didn't notice.
The light, take you!
You are today's sacrifice!
Element of blade as well.
Endure this.
It's surprisingly tanky.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
You get through?
Into the fray!
Just barely.
Go for their hearts!
Tactical retreat? No?
Nope. No tactical retreat. Just a lot of dead people. Natural divine. None of these are masterwork, correct? Anything in here? The reagents. Probably ones you'd need to summon a demon, I'm guessing. A lot of demon worshipping going on here. Another first aid kit. Quite useful. As for this, lesser kinetic diadem. This diadem increases the damage dealt by the Kinesis simple energy blast by 1d6, and by a Kinesis simple physical blast by 1d6 plus 1. Basically, it's just a really good buff. And it also helps composite blasts. So if you're a Kinesist, I'd recommend getting this one. As for the armor, Unbending armor. This plus 1 studded leather armor grants the wearer DR3 piercing. Ooh. To be perfectly honest, that would be a good armor to have for next level. Short of that, it's not too much of an improvement, but it is a little bit. Just a tad though. That DR hopefully should prove useful. But we actually do take a considerable amount of damage from that. Which if you do not get to land any spells. One of these. Let's see how that
My
goes.
tail is restless.
A bright future awaits us.
Overall, somewhat healed. If you had a cleric, that would help, but, you know. Things to do, places to see. Tower of Esterod. Probably gonna be one of the tougher areas. Cadaverous Burns, the city that should have never fallen. Fate shows no mercy. Clouds may veil the stars, but nothing can hide the light in someone's soul, and I see this light in you. We shall stand shoulder to shoulder with you against evil. I hear the echo of a familiar voice. I feel the warmth of my kindred flame. My sister, we will help you. First, I really hope that she's summonable in some spell in the future. She cast Angelic Aspect. And all this. For half an hour, this of course, gain resistance to acid and cold, DR5 against evil. Also gain a +2 bonus to AC and a +2 resistance bonus to saves against attacks made or effects created by evil creatures. In addition, your natural weapons, and any weapon you wield are considered good aligned for purposes of overcoming damage reduction. So as buffs go, that's actually pretty good. Wherever you are, keep quiet. There's a horde of enemies just beyond this door. Come over here, and you'll see. A handy way up nearby. Be quiet and watch. This is the best part. Get it together, idiots. No more looting. All to sit tight here and wait for the order to attack Defender's Heart. It's the last bastion of the Crusader resistance. We'll flatten them and claim victory. Into the abyss with all the Crusaders and Defender's Heart. Kylus, the city is ours already. Now's the time to enjoy the spoils. Split it up into groups quickly. I'll tell you where to go and what to bring back. Axon, you idiot. Go back to Baphomet. He must be missing his lapdog. Everyone here will be following my orders. I'm in charge. We won't submit to you, you dirty descarite. Keep out of this, Kylus, or I'll curse all your extremities to wither and drop off. Everyone listen to me. What we're going to do is... Looking for a fight, Faxon? Well, you've got one. Had enough, worm. I'm in charge here. Kylus is the strongest. No looting, only slaughter. We're gonna sit back here and wait for the command to attack. The Defender's Heart will fall.
I'd stay away from there right now. The tower is the main stronghold of the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth and their allies. Going up against that many of them would be suicide. I have a better idea.
The grim-faced dwarf with a thick head of black hair holds a finger to his lips. Then, points to the enemies, and whispers,
If the demons and their mortal agents were better organized, the Crusaders would have been crushed long before now. But they're always trying to spread in every direction. Right now, in every corner of the city, there are demons like Kylus who are trying to consolidate their forces to launch a joint attack on the Defender's Heart.
Who are you?
Greybor. I'm a contract killer who's been hired to kill that demon that just walloped that other one. I've tracked him all the way here, and was planning to kill him when that crowd showed up, so I had to pull back.
What do you suggest?
Don't even think about trying to take them all on single-handed. You'll be mincemeat. Better to warn the Crusaders in the Defender's Heart that the demons are planning to attack. And later, once the attackers have been taken care of, it'll be much easier to sweep through this tower and eliminate the defenders left behind.
Like when dueling with rapiers. One doesn't lunge, but waits for the opponent to strike and leave themselves open.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Gregor's eyebrows shoot up, so he wasn't expecting to hear such words from the delicate young lady. He nods anyway.
Or like in cards, wait for your opponent to play his hand, and then dive under the table, grab the pot, and run.
Thanks for the advice. Who hired you?
I'm afraid that's confidential. As a professional, I'm obliged to keep my client's name a secret.
We could attack them together.
I have no desire to die today. If you choose to go in there, I'll take advantage of the opportunity, of course. I'll kill Kylus and get back here as quickly as I can. I'm not going to fight any of the others. I don't work for free.
The city is burning. People are dying. And you're thinking about how to fill your pockets?
Yes. So what? Listen here, girl. If you're so eager to save someone, go and do it. And don't waste your breath preaching at me.
I'm going.
I hope you act wisely.
Well, we have a buff. We have a somewhat good vantage point. And I believe we have a team capable of doing it, which is the important part. I would prefer if we had a potion of haste or something to give Lan even more attacks, because he's going to be the one who's going to be carrying us through most of this fight, to be perfectly honest. But when you don't have that, just do with what you have. Make do with what you have. And we do have a good selection of spells there. So what we're going to do is quick save. And literally just kick it off.
I will help where I can.
So there. Actually, let's
Rely
switch
on me. No reason to
places. Actually, let's
pause.
not switch back.
We will win this war.
Ask nicely.
If I had a short bow, probably just give you that.
I'll watch
Really,
your back.
Go
Doubt
there.
is the heart's greatest challenge.
And then 100% go there. And actually, do you need to put this over here?
What's on your mind?
Amelia,
I wonder.
we're going to have you use your holy symbol to turn that on, and then have you cast it right about there. And Great Boar, of course, runs in, does the stab, and then tries to get out. As for Uljif, this should last for a few minutes. I'm gonna have you cast Grease right there. The idea is essentially just make it so hard for people to get through that they can't really do anything. As for the rest of the spells, can't really do that. Well, actually, yeah. Can turn on Battle Spirit though. I have Sahila move down just to block the way. A bit too far there. Hopefully she can stand up before that comes an issue. Now, when doing this particular fight, we really need to kill him first. Because if you don't, he's going to fireball everybody.
Make every strike count.
Oh, that's a good hit. See, he wants to fireball us. Hopefully he can't get range. Reese doing work. Tell me she makes a save so she's stand up. If it's not, now if you had a worth range weapon. Unfortunately, no. Lion is 100% going to have to be on the Paris through this fight. And it's possible. We have a good vantage point, good defensive area. Have the checkpoint held off, so... Try and kill Faxon.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Perfect. Now from this point on, it's just clean up. Just wait. So Hila did make the save, but she couldn't get up. That's slightly weird. This game does have issues at times. Woodruff showing just one spell at level 1 can make a whole lot of difference. Get rid of the auto attacks. Didn't add that there. Key power, extra attack. Essentially allows them to start machine gunning.
You won't survive me.
I'll cut you wide open!
So you just had to fall into the grease pit. Well, this will be a quick moment. It is cool. So, swing and miss. Now, we really want to deal with these guys next, if possible.
This!
Slightly taking the other ones, and they will attempt to summon armor. Which means their tanks won't be taken, at least for a time. A lot of the spells you normally use in this sort of situation aren't actually used.
Distract them from me!
Because demons are just resistant to almost everything.
The spirits demand your blood!
Certainly something iffy going on there. That's kind of too much.
Make every strike count.
Watch it back. Even knocked down, she's still a half decent tank. The problem is she's kind of blocking away from everyone else. Could have Vulture spelled the piece, but we really want to keep it up there for now. Last one with an actual attack.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Time to share your treasures! Cover me, alright?
Can't get in range.
You are today's sacrifice!
Swing. So I can't pronounce their name, but these rat-like demons are, if I remember correctly, envious of beauty.
You won't survive me.
Those that Queen of Things and Vanity, I believe, came. Can I actually stand up? What is this madness? There we go. And continuing to do his thing.
Endure this!
Ooh, two misses. Just continue to wait for them to continue going. At this point, it would be good to have a new dispenser spell. Going to note, dismissing a spell is technically a spell in and of itself, so kind of attack opportunity.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Make every strike count.
Feels so good to have that up in there. Let's just have Woodruff also dismiss this spell.
No glory without risk!
Should, in theory, just be time to clean up.
You've brought the wrong mongrel.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
There we go. Get their main weapons. Usually nice to work when you're dealing with demons. Loot the goodies. Here, the heavy mace, spells, its scythe, also half plate, which does tend to sell for a lot, but it's also very heavy. So let's not do that.
I heed the voice of the spirits.
If you wouldn't mind dismissing that.
I am helpful. Am I not?
Yeah, I've never actually gone around the outside ring. There is a way to actually ability your way around the entire circle so you don't have to deal with that fight at all. But I like doing it. Then we go into the depths of the dungeon. A pale and frightened half-elf looks at you warily. His face is twisted into a grimace, like he just ate something slimy. Hey, who are you? Praise Baphomet. What are you doing here? Did Vexen send you? I heard a noise outside, and I was busy making a list of relics. Did something happen? Who are you? I am Tilma, the scribe and senior aide to Lord Xanthia the Plagued One. Oh, and do forgive me, but Vexen has been assigned to this command, has he not? Where is he? What are you doing here? I am compiling a list of valuable Crusader artifacts. Lord Xanthia has ordered that everything of use should be transported to from Canaveras and saved from the looting and destruction. He chose the museum as the place to collect and sort through the trophies. Unfortunately, the local thieves have proved to be even quicker off the mark than the demons. They ransacked the museum in the first few hours of the assault, and there are some objects of interest among the exhibits they left behind. The museum custodian has been kind enough to advise me of those, but again, where is Vexen? Woodruff, of course, sniggers. Finest thieves in Medivh. Turn your back and everything that isn't now down to the floor will be gone before you turn around again. The demons have no chance against them. Masters of our trade, we are. There you go again, bragging again, dummy. Thievery has never led to anything but harm, trust me. If you fought your way to thieve, now that might be useful. If you fought the way to thieve, sorry. Sealer pipes in. Woodruff instantly responds to that, but they're no thanks. Every person has their calling, and this is mine. Imagine if you fought as well as we thieve. Where is the museum custodian? Over in the gallery. I deceived him. I told him I was a crusader. It wasn't difficult. The old geezer is out of his mind. So, again, where is Vexen? I've been asking you guys and you keep on telling off. Like, really? Who are you? And then we're just like, get your hands off the Crusader relics and attack him. The half-elf leaps back nimbly, pulling a sheet of papers from his bag as he goes. No! I have valuable letters from Lord Xanthia here. I must destroy them. The goddess bowls the pages up in his fist and shoves them into his mouth. Then begins furiously chewing like a hamster. A moment later, the half-elf's eyes bulge and he opens his mouth, which is stuffed with masticated paper. He tries to cough, but nothing comes out. The Fat Servitor looks at you in desperation. His eyes are streaming. His face is growing pale about a second, and he falls to his knees. A strangled wheeze emerges from behind the wad of wet paper. His expressions veer from the hilarious to the grotesque as he signals to you for help. Want some salt or pepper with that? Lan says. Now, I've never tried eating paper myself, but a little seasoning goes a long way, whatever the meal. And this is where you just step in and kill him. A merciful blow ends the hapless half-elf's life. This is undoubtedly a fire kind of death with suffocation. Now, there was actually a book that I forgot that we had to read. Not that one. On the nature of the divine, I believe. That bonus did not. Oh well, worth a shot. Now, where are those masticated papers? No. Here's somewhere. Is this it? Largely destroyed weather. This is the one. A wad of crumpled pieces of paper with visible bite marks and traces of saliva. The writing is blurred and indistinct. Most of the words are completely illegible, but some fragments are still intact. Carefully pack up all the relics and valuable magical items and hand them over to the same courier that brought you my potions. Later, I may carve out some time away from my scientific research to sift through the detritus you managed to steal from the Crusaders. I might as well not bother, since you all finds will most certainly be of no use to me, unless I find myself in dire need of a paperweight. Still, this mission keeps you occupied and gives me an invaluable opportunity to work without you sticking your nose into my experiments. I once again remind you that, and the rest of it's eligible. Only a few more sentences can be read towards the end. The punishment will be painful, brutal, and utterly inhumane. Remember this, with good luck, with conquering whatever you are conquering out there. Xantha Varg. Or rather, Vang. Now, there was an interesting extra thing here. I forgot that we hadn't read. We picked it up, I believe, at Defender's Heart when we got into that secret room. Half a century ago, our parents fled their homeland from Sarkonis, terrified of the invading demons. They were certain that the war would soon be over, so they didn't go too far and found their refuge here in Canabras. They used what little savings they had to build a tavern where any crusader could get a bowl of soup and a good night's rest in exchange for some money and news about their recent victories. The city looked completely different back then. It was a triumphant city, full of hope, inspiring songs and brave paladins in shining armor. We praised Our Lady Pluria openly and hoped that the lands of our ancestors would be ours again in no time. Things had changed since then, though. Our parents have left to the Goddess's Halls, so they passed away. Dresden is long gone, the world wound grows deeper every day, and the Crusaders seem to take more interest in fighting each other and us townsfolk than eradicating the demons. Halloran has gone mad, and now puts all his inquisitive zeal into burning witches. Today, Canabras is a city of fear and suspicion. We even had to hide our altar of the Shimmering Maiden in our basement, so they wouldn't accuse us of demon worship. Queen Gallifrey has recently appointed Halloran the prelate of Canabras. Now nothing will stop this murderer from taking complete control of the city into his hands and serving his so-called justice on everyone. His previous acts of violence were just the beginning of a full-scale massacre. We have to flee, run like our parents did. This time, not from the demons, but from the Crusaders. Soon we will sell our tavern and leave anywhere away from the agony of this endless war. May Polaria protect the city and whatever comes next. So a little bit of backstory there. To remind people, Halloran was the old man crusader who first greeted us in the city. The one that was completely annoyed that we didn't know who he was. He was probably a few seconds away from, putting us on a pyre and burning us alive. And it just goes to show that the Crusaders aren't exactly the paragons of good and righteousness as people like them to perhaps be. They are... At one point, they went Spanish Inquisition on people, for example. They just really started to get too paranoid for the job. And to be honest, to be fair, they are fighting demons. roast pork. We shall do the pork. Angels. Celestials native to any of the three upper planes of creation. Servants of the good, gods, angels have come to the Crusaders' aid in their fight against the world wound more than once. It's worth noting that most of those who have interfered in mortal life were driven by their own free will and not by any deity's order. However, the good gods do not forbid such impulses, allowing the Celestials to seek a reckoning with the forces of evil. So essentially, they're allowed to help us, but they're not ordered to. Okay, this one was the Almanac, the Tower of Estrod Museum. Oh, this is way too long to read through. Maybe interesting to do, but there's probably interesting tidbits in there. But, yeah, perhaps the end of the stream. Oh, pedestals that used to have items, all now gone. Oh, there's a person there. The old man is looking around absent-mindedly. The old man looking around absent-mindedly shrinks away as you get closer. His head seems to shake uncontrollably, but his hands are surprisingly deft and assured as they level a magic wand at you. Stay back. Which are you? Robber? Or demon? Hey, take it easy, Gramps. Woodruff, hopefully chiming in. So that's the way of it, is eh? See the horns and you think thief? Or demon? Quit scaring the old man, dummy. Have you seen your horns? They, how should I put this? Don't exactly inspire trust in a city that's currently overrun with demons. As a healer, being the voice of reason. Hey, there are horns, and then there are horns. Of course, Lan has to adjust to that. I'm not going to hurt you. The old man googles at you in terror. He doesn't blow his wand. A rustling comes from somewhere behind him. Rats! The old man wheels around fearfully, peers in the direction the sound came from. The hand holding the wand gradually falls to his side. When he turns back to you, there is no fear in his expression, only vague confusion. You... I'm sorry, I was distracted. What were we talking about? Who are you? The old man knows his wand in confusion. I think... His expression grows distraught and mournful, as though he was on the verge of crying. I forget. His gaze falls on a piece of cloth carefully stitched to his cloak, which reads, Tilden, Tower of Estrod Museum Custodian. Aha! I am Tilden, custodian here. My memory isn't what it once was. My faculties are failing me. But at one time, my mind could cut like a diamond. I was a battle mage, one of the few who survived the Battle of the Lost Chapel. I am an old man now. Sometimes I sit on my keys one moment, the next, I can't remember where I put them. With a pleased smile, the old man pulls a hefty set of keys from his pocket and proudly shows them to you. Here they are, my keys. My little lovelies. I would never give you away to anyone. Remembering himself, the old man hastily stows the keys back in his pocket. What are the keys for? Oh, these keys are for everything. I can open every door in the Tower of Estrod with these. Museum custodian on duty must carry these keys at all time and never be parted with them. Not even for a second. And why is that? Because if the keys were left unattended, they would be pinched by thieves. Wouldn't they? Thieves who'd strip the museum of all their treasures. Like we weren't going to do that. What are you looking at me for? Woodruff exclaims indignantly, even though no one is looking at him. Give me the keys. Out of the question. According to museum protocol, the custodian does not have the right to hand over the keys to another. I am personally responsible for the safety of the exhibits and the storeroom. But don't you understand? The museum holds things that could help in the fight against the demons. And of course we fail. The custodian shakes his head firmly and snaps out. The exhibits are not to be handled without the permission of the museum management. They are certainly not to be taken outside the museum itself. And we don't want to do that. Don't want to do that either. And we don't really want to threaten the enemy either. Though it's possible. Sure, why not? It really doesn't do anything. I see. Here's one thing left in life, and that's keys. Why did the demon spare you? The museum custodian looks at you in stark surprise. Demons? There've been no demons in this museum. I heard them breaking the tower, but then everything went quiet. And a very polite young fellow came along, a half-elf. He said Canabras was under attack, but the Crusaders had already recaptured the tower. He said he had been sent to oversee the evacuation of the museum. He was very pleased to find me here, and proved a very useful resource. I showed him all the most valuable relics and explained what they were, and he wrapped them up, labeled them, and carried them off somewhere. Now I've been here all this time. I locked the doors, still guard to make sure no demon got in. I've seen not one of them. I haven't heard any either. I've grown hard of hearing over the years. That half-elf was a demon worshipper. The old man frowned in confusion. What do you mean, demon worshipper? That fine young man was so well dressed, so polite. He said the Crusaders... Oh my word. The relics. We must go after them. The old man works himself into a state, bitterly lamenting as he roots through his many pockets. But the outpost doesn't last long. Fisherman's hand slows and awareness fades from his eyes. He stares off into the distance and looks at you, wets his lip, and sheepishly inquires, "Sorry, did you say something? Are you alright?" The poor old man smiles piteously and makes a helpless gesture. Old age, my friend, old age. And the poison of fear seeping into my mind. Both have turned me from a crusader and battle mage into the sorry specimen you see before you. This museum is all I have. Whenever I forget who and where I am, I just read the exhibit labels. They're of the past, just like me. And now some ruffians have ransacked the place. I'm frightened, my young friend. I am very frightened. Tell me about the museum exhibits. The old man seems to come to life. It will take a lifetime to tell you all there is to know, but I'll take you on a tour of the highlights. Some of my personal favorites. You should have a look yourself. You won't regret it. For instance, we have a painting here depicting angels fighting demons. And you may find it hard to believe, but in the First Crusade, many heavenly beings fought shoulder to shoulder with us Crusaders. And these two in the painting are Tarragona and Lariel, the Silver Twins, as they were called. I actually met them, you know. As a young man studying under Master Zacharias. They had no airs or graces about them. They walked among the mortals, they spoke to us, they healed our wounds. Lady Tarragona I remember especially well. She had a special, unearthly wisdom within her. The angel Ariel, on the other hand, was known for his daring. The youngest Crusaders idolized him. I wonder where they are now, the twins. We don't have celestial beings in our ranks anymore. They all lived sometime during the Second Crusade. On a very important mission, they say. But I do love looking at his painting, and remembering those days when envoys of the heavens walked among us, and the light seemed to shine from within them. He wipes his eyes. What do I say? You must be mentioned, yes? Well, are you a visitor? Why did those times end? Why the celestials not fight with us still? Heaven hasn't abandoned us, surely. You said the angels, Tarragona and Lariel, were twins. How can angels have siblings? That's a good question. Of course, angels are not born like mortals, so they can't have a mother and father, or sisters and brothers as we understand them. Angels come into beings from reincarnated souls, all from the pure essence of the upper planes. Sometimes angels may adopt some features of mortals, for instance, they can identify as male or female, though they are not generally that way. Some can develop bonds, or camaraderie, or even kinship. But the case of the Silver Twins is rarer still. They are two angels who emerged from one soul. What else would we call them if not twins? The old man smiles, seemingly satisfied with his speech, but within moments, his fake expression is back in place. All awareness born from his eyes. Go to the Defender's Hut. There are good people there, and they'll look after you. The old custodian gives you a toothless smile. Really? It's safe there? But how can I leave the museum? His gaze falls upon the traces of the ransacking. The old man becomes lost in thought, as though trying to find an explanation for what he's seeing. You know what happened here, don't you? Thieves. They were prowling around, wanted to rob the museum, but I stopped them. Those ne'er-do-wells came in here and I gave them a what for? Dose of battle magic. They won't be back. Don't worry about me. Maybe old, but I can still hold my own. And I have to go. Old man's bewildered gaze follows you as you go. Just an old man dealing with old-timers. And we're going to loot this place. Some of the almanac. Book. Just some random stuff we can sell. And there, I can leave that one behind. Some extra things we can sell. Nothing much of interest in this room. Let's see if there's anything better in the other two.
This one was beyond me.
Really?
I am helpful, am I not?
Luckily got it on the second try. Ooh. There's a trap there. Should be okay.
Open your heart to me.
Humility go forward. Start undoing these traps.
I hope you appreciate this. I am helpful, am I not? I am helpful, am I not?
Okay, that should be everything. These tools. Bit of an audio glitch by the sounds of things going on. Hopefully it will change when we get to the next area. Otherwise, it may require a reload. Book, Daniel.
I hope you appreciate this.
There's a lot of boats around at the moment. Okay, Kukuri, Race of Peace. Called Iron, Enhancement 1, Finesse Wielding. It's called Iron +1. Kukuri deals an additional +2 damage against undead creatures. See, this is one of the parts where if he was level 2, we could have potentially customized him to be slightly different. But can't use it. As for the bow, composite +1 enhancement. Whenever this +1 longbow confirms a critical hit, all enemies in the 10-foot area must pass a reflex save or become entangled for 1 round. To be honest, not the greatest longbow in the world. It has a chance to work, but it's pretty low. If you have no other options, giving that to an archer may help. But otherwise, I'd recommend using a different weapon. It is extra gold though.
I am helpful, am I not?
No traps in here. Cool. That. Sakurian Faith. Just extra knickknacks. Overall, pretty nice trip. Halfway to level 4. Now, I don't believe we picked up anything else. Ah, we did. Lady Chandra's chain shirt. This is going to be much better for you, actually. It is a mithril +2 mithril chain shirt. Light armor. Better than studded armor. It has less arcane spell failure chance, so technically actually good for casters as well, if you're going that particular route. And a max dexterity of 6, which, while rare, is quite useful. And it's pretty much just a direct upgrade of what she had before. No one else can really use armor. If I was to give Wooljeff armor, he wouldn't be able to cast spells quite as effectively. That's why he doesn't even have light armor efficiency. He can't just, he literally can't wear them. There were 2 books. Not sure if they add extra things, but we can take a quick look at them. First is Yeniel. This is a small thing. Paladin of Aramide the Lightbringer, and Knight of the Citadel of Dresden. Heroine of the Crusades. Yeniel disobeyed her orders by leaving the garrison to venture deep into the World Wound alone. 2 years later, she returned at the head of Crusaders squad she saved. Died during the fall of Dresden in 1446-38. And I believe that's the only... Nope, that's the other one. Sakurian Faith. Imperial Lord Plura, Mistress of the Stars and the mysterious light of the Aurora, is one of the most revered deities of old Sarkonis. Her worship is widespread among the Clades, who built numerous shrines in honor of their patroness. Most of these shrines, considered particularly cherished and sacred, was located on the lake shore surrounded by picturesque waterfalls called Pluria's Fall. Overall, Pretty nice.
A bright
Well.
future.
Always be ready
Don't
for
mind
the
me.
worst.
Let's try to open this door. And go through. Yep. She does indeed come back. Translucent silhouette of a winged female warrior glows softly. You brought us back to waking. Greetings. Who are you? Not who. What? Memories. This place was created as a cradle of memory and fantasy. The things that belonged to the city's heroes were kept here. People used to come to this place to remember those heroes. And myself and the others are living memories. You wake us, so here we are. So your memories... Who? Of the heroes the city wished to immortalize. Go, touch a memory. See how they remembered us. After all, this place was created so that our names would never disappear into the mists of history. There used to be a place like this near Nithong. Quiet, calm. I used to walk among the plinths and pedestals wondering, the people who founded the place, what was driving them? Were they thinking about future generations? How to pass down their wisdom and share the right path? Or were they thinking of themselves, trying to keep their names and deeds alive? But then the ceiling collapsed and that place didn't exist anymore, so my question was moot. Seela, I wish I could say that we had not dishonored your memory. Your memory lies in ruins and we... But you fiercely battled the invaders, with no thought of yourself. You have earned no censure. We are proud of you. Orgif, right? In the olden days, mortal lost to the demons time after time after time, and now the descendants are continuing their losing streak. How could they not be proud of that? Oh, you sassy bitch. Why did you help me? I saw a smile appear on the woman's face. I sensed there's something in you. As if you were close to me somehow. Like we stood shoulder to shoulder once in the face of evil. And that we might do so again. I sense that light dwells within you. Very distant to you, you are threatened by a powerful demon, and dark bloodlust tried to enslave your soul. But you opposed it and held fast. Continue to follow the path of light, and other righteous souls will aid you and follow you. Farewell, Vision. Farewell. The power that gives us this semblance of life is running out, and soon we will once again be but memories. Living only in words, pictures, and songs. Now, I think we're going to end this part here. Next area coming up is quite large after all, and to be honest, it's a good time to do so. So I'm just going to save here. And of course, here. And pick up here next time on the off. Until then, have fun and try not to have that too stressful of a life.